All right, we are live, or I am live. Zora is missing in action. She had school today, video, so I don't know if she's done up there or not. While I'm waiting for people to join in, I'm just gonna also do a little house cleaning here. I want to see if I can share this. All right. Cool. So, yeah, I'm here by myself right now. Zora is finishing up her school video chat, Zoom meeting. It's crazy. I think we're 7 weeks into the self distancing and quarantining. Up, I hear her. Here she comes. She's cruising down the stairs, which I'm glad because she was the one who. Hey, there she is. Say hello. So she was the one who wanted to do a picture of Steve and Alice, our two cats. We recently lost our last cat from the first batch in the summer, and we got a couple new kittens. And anyway, they've grown up a bit over the months, and they are super snuggly, and they love to snuggle together, and we got a great picture of them there. So I'm going to bring up that picture. I know, I just posted it, so there it is. So we're gonna draw this image. We're gonna use our oil pastels. Now what I've done is I've got the oil pastels, but they are these water-soluble oil pastels. I don't know if you can see that right there. Water-soluble oil pastels. I don't understand the science or the technology that makes it possible to use water with oil-based products, but be that as it may, it works. So we're going to use a little bit of water. So I've got a cup of water. I have a couple of brushes of differing size. Thank you, Z. A big brush and a smaller brush. And yeah, you could have a paper towel. It's good for wiping off, your brow if you're getting a little sweaty like me, or if you want to wipe off a little extra water from your brush, or even if you want to clean your fingers when we're using the oil pastels. Also, if you decide you're going to use water with these, use watercolor paper because the regular paper will not hold up and you will not get as good of an effect with it. So that's what we're using, oil pastels, watercolor paper, and then water and some brushes. If you want to just use oil pastels, then you don't need any special paper really. You can use just some drawing paper and that should be sufficient. And you'll just have, your process will continue with oil pastels when we start to go in with water. And we'll be switching back and forth from just using the oil pastels to going in with a brush and some water and smearing things together that way instead of smearing with our fingers, which you can also do. So in other words, there's a lot of variation with this medium, and I'm going to show you how I like to use it. And you should feel free to use any of those ideas that resonate with you. And if certain things don't resonate with you or you don't want to try those things, that's fine. This is all about what works for you and what helps you enjoy the process, because that's what we're here to do, is to have some fun. We're not here to, bring any negativity or to judge or to... No negativity here. We're here to be positive and to create something. And when you make something, you're healing the world a little bit and you're healing yourself a little bit. So why don't we begin? I am going to flip the camera around here. Okay. There we go. That seems pretty good. I've got my my cat picture up on my screen. So hopefully you have that in one window, and then you've got the sample that we're doing here in the other window. So you can see what I'm doing and see the image that we are working from at the same time. Also, this is a good time to just put on some music. Put on some music that is inspiring for you, and that will make you want to paint. We're going to stay silent over here so we don't make any extra noise. I am going to start with a light color. It seems like yellow is visible, so I'm going to start with yellow. It's kind of more of a vertical picture, so I'm going to make my paper a little more vertical. And I like to start with the bodies because that's where everything connects into. And I'm going to start with the cat on the left, the orange cat. That's Steve. And what's his full name, Z?
Captain Steve Rogers, America, McDuffie, Carr, Weathers, Iron Man, Cohen.
So we just call him Steve. It's quite a mouthful. All right, here we go. We've got sort of this oval potato shape over here. You can see it's maybe like 3 times as long as it is wide. And so I'm just going to come in lightly like this. Right, not too bad. I hope that's visible for you. I do want to start light because light colors are easy to cover if we make a mistake. Let's do his head. You can see it's right at the front of his body, right towards us. Pretty small and also kind of an oval, almost a circle. It's going to be right about here. Okay. And then let's move over to Alice. And Alice's name is just Alice. She doesn't have anything fancy added to it. It's almost like a bean shape in that you've got a little bit of a curve happening here. And then it curves around this way. Then we've got a big curve that comes down, and we can see it's just about at the same length as Steve's body there. And boom, that's where it's going to end, right there. Her head is like right on top, just a little bit to the right, and also smaller than Steve's head because it's a little bit in the distance. Kind of like that. You can see it kind of meets there. Okay. Now, the legs. I think it's fine to do outlines if that's what's feeling good for you, but you can also just, like this is not a very thick piece of oil pastel here. I could just, I see the back leg kind of goes like this and then like this. Right? So I'm just, just making the shape there. And then this one, it kind of comes out like this and then goes underneath Alice like that. She's got a leg that comes in between here like this, and then you can see that's where the elbow is, and then you see kind of the chest is in here, and then you've got another paw that kind of, again, we can use the whole thing, just go like this and like that. And this is just the start. We can go in and make things more the way we want them to be as we go. Like I know this gets thicker through here. This is kind of like a drumstick. And then we have his front paw, which kind of comes in like this. It's like a zigzag. Right? A little thicker through here. And then he's got his chest, and then his other little leg comes from behind. It's going to come out and then go behind that guy. And then we've got Alice's tail, which comes over here. His neck and chest kind of come down like this, don't they? And what I'll do right now is I'm just gonna, I want us to be able to see these a little bit clearer. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of outlining.
What color should I use?
You don't have to do it if you can see it. This is more for people watching. Because this gets a little wacky in here, the way that, you know, the legs crisscross and everything. This is a little more like this. Here's this one. Over here we've got this front paw that kind of comes in like this.
Daddy.
Yes, buddy.
Steve's arm accidentally goes into Alice's butt.
Well, it's on top. Well, you could put it on top. Here's how Zora's is looking so far. It's pretty good. Very nice job, Z. Okay, so here's the tail. Here's the chest. And then here's kind of his leg poking out. And then going underneath. Kind of like that. We still need the ears. Over here, that's pretty easy. He's just got these big triangle bat ears. They're coming off the page for me.
His ears are twisted on mine.
Yeah, they are a little bit twisted. Like you can see that this is the inside of it here. The inside is sort of, you know, pointing out this way. This one is straight out towards us. So we'll play with that a little bit. Alice's ear is more like a U shape. And again, it's got a little bit of a curve in the opposite direction that you'd expect. And then it comes down like this. Kind of. And then another one coming out over here. That's more triangular. And again, that one's going to go off the page. I think this needs to come a little bit more this way. Okay. That's looking pretty good. All right. Let's continue. Now, I'm going to stay with this light blue just because I've got it in my hand and it's easy to see. It's a little easier to see. I like to always start with the nose because the nose divides the face in half, and we can see on Steve's nose, it's a little bit low. It's not quite in the middle. So it's low this way and it's low this way too. You got it low in both directions. So it's going to be right around here. And you can see it's kind of a upside down, or like a triangle, right? Comes to a point. And then you've got a little tiny line that comes down, and then you can see just a little bit of the mouth, which is more or less like a kind of a frowny mouth on its side, or a parenthesis, right? Eyes are big. They are just a little bit up above the nose, not that far, and they are leaf-shaped, like diagonal leaves like this. So the corner is going to be about there. And they're kind of like fat leaves like this. One there, and then this guy is way over here, almost to the side.
What are we going to do with the brushes in water?
I'm gonna show you what we do with the brushes in water, but we got to get our image in first. Kind of like that. I think this has to be a little more like that. Looks like he's got an eyelid, so that's not what I really wanted there.
It's too crooked.
Well, so we'll fix it as we go. It's no problem. We're just trying to get it kind of there, and then the idea from there is you edit. It's always easier to edit something than it is to just start from scratch, I find. So here's going to be the side of the face, and then we've got the chest. Okay. Head. feel like his head got a little squished. It's got to come down like that. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. Now, Alice we see her snout a little bit. I see you, John Younger. Kat, thanks for joining. I saw Christopher was there. Moulier, thanks for being here, dude. Good to see everybody. Okay, so Alice's snout is going to be like a C shape, kind of like this. It's going to fit in just like that. It kind of comes to a point where the nose is. The side of her head is going to actually come down a little bit to the right of where I had it coming down originally, like that. You can see there's just a little bit of an eye you can see there. And then here, this eye is going to be... What I would do is I would find the curvature of the front of the eye, which is going to be here, like that. And then it's going to be like coming to a triangle. And then you can just see it sort of comes to a point over here on this side. So it's kind of like that. And then the mouth is down in here. Okay, and we can have them sitting anywhere. They don't have to be on a chair. We could have them just like anywhere we want. Okay, the fur on her is kind of covering his foot. Here's his tummy. You don't see his tail. So now we're ready to get going. What I would like to do first is get some more color on Steve. We'll start with him. I'm going to do his stripes, and I'm going to just start with them as like kind of a yellow. And you can see they sort of follow the curve, the contour of the body. They start to really curve over on this side. They sort of come together almost in the back here. And then you've got these stripes that come up this leg, which are kind of going to be like frowny marks this way. And then these continue. Okay. On these, what we'll do is we'll bring some white in, but I want to get his chest. You have these stripes kind of coming over his chest. And you have these guys, stripes coming down. In fact, you have like an upside down Y right near both eyes, like that. Under the eye. Okay. So I also want to add, well, let's do this. Let's come in with a little bit of water now. So I'm going to start a small brush here. And I've got a little bit of water on there, and we just activate our oil pastel like this.
What does it do?
Well, it sort of turns it into like more of a watercolor.
I thought it was pastel.
Yeah, I know. That's the cool thing about these is it's an oil pastel that is water soluble.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then you can even start to blend in some of those blues, and you can get greens. You want to try this brush? Now the only thing is you want to be real careful, because if you start using too much water and you start roughing up the paper too much, the paper is going to start to disintegrate. You're going to start to get these like little balls of paper that start to form. All right. And we can even still come in. I want to make these maybe a little bit more orangey, so I'm going to add some of this reddish orange oil pastel. Yeah, just like this. So you can go back in, and then we can activate it again with more water if we want to. Yeah, you want to be careful with water. You don't want to, if you use too much and you start getting puddles, that can be a little bit hard to deal with. So you don't want to do that. Oh, you've got some real cat hair on there, huh? And we can even, if we want to, we can take in some white.
Why are you going so fast?
Let's do the white on here. He's got some really cool markings on his front leg there. I really love his markings. And then it's mostly white towards the paw here. And let's also bring a little bit of that red. Just sort of try to do it the way that you see it there, if you can. Because the more you do what's actually there, the more authentic it's going to feel. And that's, I think, what everybody is starving for in life, is just a little bit of authenticity. You know, we're all constantly being sold to, constantly trying to be manipulated to, you know, spend our money in certain ways on certain things, to watch certain things. And I just, you know, people just want to see something heartfelt and authentic. And so the more you can make it the way that it actually is, then that's being more specific. And as you're getting more specific, then that makes it more authentic. Because now it's no longer a cat, it's this particular cat. And it's a cat that I actually really love. I love these animals so much. They are such a joy to have around. And I'll tell you, you know, like our last cat before we had these guys was Mac, and he was the last of sort of our family. We had, at one time, we had 4 cats, and one by one they started to fall by the wayside for various different reasons. But Mac was the last of the Mohicans. He stuck around the longest, and you know, he got old, and so it's so different to have kittens and the energy level that that kittens have. It's just like, man, it just keeps things so exciting and fun around the house. And we loved Max so much, but we are really enjoying Steve and Alice, and, you know, their personalities.
And they're so cute.
Oh yeah, they're very cute and fuzzy and soft, all those things. So was Mac, though. Mac was an awesome cat. Now eventually we're going to have to start putting some darks in here.
Daddy.
Yes.
I figured out another thing we should add into Steve's name.
Okay, we're not talking about Steve's name anymore. You can tell me that later, dude. I want to create a little bit more, you know, shadow where things are going in front of or behind. So I'm using this brown. Eventually, maybe I'll start using a little bit of black. But I like this brown that I have is like a rust color, which kind of goes real nice with Steve's markings anyway. You can start to get a little bit of texture in there. Let's see. Go ahead, grab that piece over there. Definitely has, this is kind of where his chest is over here. There's sort of this big white area that's going to stay white and be his chest. But you see how I can just like kind of grab this stuff and work it through.
Daddy,
Yes, bud.
my back leg got too brown.
Okay, we'll just let it dry. Maybe you can pick some of it up with a wet paper towel, or you can scrape it. That works. Yeah, if you do make mistakes, you can sometimes just come in and scrape it away if it's thick enough. Let's see, I need that white to bring in his chest here.
For the rest of the body, it's just like stripes, like stripes.
Well, just look at the picture. You can see like back in here, there's like a lot of this more orangey part, and then same thing, the back of the leg, and the back here too.
Yeah, but like on your picture, you could see the white.
Well, yeah, I went back in with white, and I also left some white there.
No, but like you could, like, how is your body so filled in?
Well, you'll have to go back and watch the video, I guess, dude. Now I can see that he's got a little more curvature to his spine back here, so I'm just going to move that a little bit. And you saw it was easy enough. I just did it with water, but then I'm going to come in and I'm going to emphasize it a little more with some actual oil pastel.
The other name was candy corn.
Nice. Let's see. So this is his back leg here, which is going to be a lot of white. But there's a little bit of this oranginess. And then a lot of white.
Daddy,
Yeah, bud.
how do I make my stripes more? There's like no stripes anymore.
Okay, so Zora is working on this one, and it's looking pretty good, but she is losing her stripes. So what I would suggest, whoops, wrong one. What I would suggest is coming in here like this and just bringing them back out again, and then you can, smear it a little bit. But you got to make individual ones.
How is yours so good?
Lots of practice. The more you practice, the better you're going to get at this stuff. There's just no getting around the fact that you do have to practice. You can't just assume that you're going to be great. Everything takes practice. Okay, so let's get into the face a little bit. The eyes are very yellow. And then you're trying to scrape off a little bit of this. Oh well. It's also a little bit greenish, so maybe it's going to work out. Color it in. Color it in. Now here there's some real dark areas, although I'm going to kind of just use this rust color for the outline right now. This is going to be more like this. Definitely kind of slanty, and then this is going to be like this. That looks pretty good. Let's get a little black in here for the, whoops, that's blue. Let's get a little black in here for the eye, which is kind of oval shaped. Right, it's pretty good. Can even do just a little dark outline here.
My eye's tie-dye green and yellow.
Zora's saying she's got a tie-dye eye. Okay, now on this side, It's going to be a little, whoops, let's go back to that rust color. It really like kind of slants down and comes to a point over here. And then this guy comes up on this side like that. Good. And then there's that. The nose I'm going to make a little bigger. I'm going to make it a little pinker, just for grins and giggles, and lower it just a tad. It kind of is more like a T shape almost.
Where do you get the pink?
The pink's in there. Let's do a little nostril. And then the little line comes down, and then the mouth.
How do you have space for the nostril?
Okay, he's got a little pink in his ears. Well, you just made your head so small.
Oh.
So I'm just going to add a little pink in here. And then a little pink in here. And then let's go back in with our orangey color. There's his stripes coming down, and he's got it all on his head. This ear is pretty orangey. Maybe we'll do just a little outline on this ear. Under his eye. Okay, and then down the side of his head here. And under his eye.
Can you go a little slower?
Yeah. And then around the nose is going to be white. And his chin is going to be white.
It looks like he's wearing lipstick on mine.
That's okay.
Why is it like... Mine doesn't look like Steve. Mine looks like a zombie cat.
Well, you usually draw cats a different way, and I'm showing you a different way of drawing them, huh? All right, so now I'm going to come in with my brush and some water again, and I just want to like blend out this stuff without, losing the stripes. I feel like he's almost got that same look of surprise that he has in the photo, so that seems good.
He doesn't have a look of surprise on his
Oh, I think in the photo he's looking at us like, did you need something? Kind of like we caught him in the middle of doing something he's not supposed to be doing. Hi, Eveline. Hi, Doug, if you're still there.
Oh, yeah, Eve's here?
She was. Right now we got one person watching, so I don't know exactly who that is, but
Thanks.
I'm glad you're here. We're having a good time today doing this painting of our cats. Or I guess we could call it a painting, or you could call it a drawing. It's kind of a combination because we're doing the oil pastel, but then we're using it like watercolors.
It's a pieing, and there's paws in the picture too, so it's a pieing.
I don't know if that works, see.
Prying.
It's a good try, though.
It's a prying.
Okay,
Oops, my cheek accidentally got flesh on it, Daddy.
that's okay. There's no wrong answers here. We're just having fun, practicing. All right. He definitely has some orange on this side.
No, this was supposed to be this leg arm.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. It's not a big deal. You can fix it. Okay, kind of like that. Getting a little texture there. And then you can see like this whole paw up until there is going to be kind of orangey.
I know what I'll do. I'll just do the opposite paws.
That's a good idea.
This will have orange.
And then this comes from underneath, so I can even use a little bit of that rust right there.
How much people do we have watching?
Still one. But the great thing about something like this is that people can watch anytime because it's still going to be there. Yeah. And I am starting to post all these videos onto YouTube also. So if you are more comfortable doing it through YouTube, you can find my channel. It's just my name, Deron Cohen.
I also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Okay. Now, we're going to start in on Alice. Are we on time? Good. It took us about a half hour to get to Alice. That's about right. Okay. Alice she's made up of these darker colors, so we will use some black. She's got some kind of tannish colors, so what I might do is... I don't know. I think maybe we'll stick with the yellow, but maybe instead of that medium tan, maybe we'll start throwing in some purples or something like that. I think that could be kind of pretty, right? Or maybe some blues. I like the idea of some blues, maybe. So.
What about green?
Green's kind of a weird color for a cat, maybe, but if you want to do green, I don't have any problem with that. That's the great thing about making art is you get to do whatever you want. I want to give him a little bit of a white tummy first, though. He's got this white tummy like this.
How does that look?
That looks good. I like it. I wish I could see the nose a little bit better. So, like, you can see it's a little pretty light above his nose, so I'm just going to color in above his nose a little light. Like that. And if you need to, you just take a little bit of black and you just, make a line there so you can see it a little better. Well, you made it so small, buddy. You made it so small. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm putting yellow where the fur is yellow, like in here. And then the chest, right? It's very yellow.
And the belly.
And then he's got... Oh, yeah, she's got sort of the back, her tail, right in here. And then it kind of comes out in stripes in here.
I thought the stripes were like gray.
Well, the thing is it's the yellow and the black mixed is creating this sort of like light brownish color.
Hey, the stripes are going in opposite directions.
So, but this is where I said I wanted to maybe do something different and do like a blue or something like that. So maybe I'll do that.
Contrast Steve even more.
Well, and then you'll get some of those greens in there that you were talking about too.
Oh my god, they look like Halloween colors. I just realized that.
Halloween colors.
Yeah.
Oh, the two of them together are kind of orange and black. That's funny. All right, so now I'm just sort of trying to create the wavy stripes. She has such beautiful markings. Let's see. There's like a very defined little mark here behind where the leg comes up. And they start to get kind of smaller and closer together.
She has like ripples in her fur.
Yeah, there's like a ripple-y pattern. And then again, they start to get closer and closer and kind of a little bit fragmented as they come down her body. Fragmented means it's not like a full-on band. You can see like little gaps in the bands here and there. but we can, since we're going to do those in black, it's not a big deal.
What about this part?
The back?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like kind of segmented. You still see the waves, but it's kind of like it gets covered. But you can just make it a full one and then cover it with some black. Or we could, yeah, we'll have to use black. Okay. On the leg, I think I'm just going to make the full-on blue leg, and then I will, when I come in with the black, we can go right over it. Up here, you've got these littler stripes. And then blue, and then a little bit over her eye. And then I'm even going to bring some yellow back in to her face, because there are some very light areas like towards the snout and around the eyes, and some little stripes up there. Okay. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. I know you couldn't see her head up there, so we'll do that. This angle is a little weird here, so I'll see if I can correct that too. I do want to bring in those little paws. I'm just going to do that with the light blue here, but you can see there's like 3 little dots that you can see. And then the pad is kind of like an arrow shape almost, kind of like a fat parenthesis. Okay, here we go with some black. Where's that other black? Here it is. Here, I'll give that to you. So, I've got a color in around here.
Look, Daddy.
What? Oh. And then this is going to come in here.
Why is yours so much darker?
I don't know. Let's see. This is going to actually kind of come like this. And then come down like this. She's got a really defined band right there. And then right as you get to her chest, like that. Okay, the paw, you can see these lines where her claws go. There's just 2 of them. And then I'm going to do the whole underside of this paw, nice and dark.
Why is my pastel working?
Use that one then. Okay. Then she's got this like little band. It almost looks like she's a rank in the army or something with that one. And then we got a couple little guys there and a big sort of crescent looking band right there. And then again, she's got these really wavy kind of stripes that get smaller as they go down towards the paw. Now, I want to come back to the face. I do see there's a stripe that comes like that. Then we're going to have stripes coming in between these blue stripes that we added. So basically I'm kind of shooting for where it is white, and I'm laying in my black carefully in between. Sounds like my neighbor is doing some work over there. Hi, Mona.
How many people do we have now?
Nobody.
What?
Doesn't say anybody. All right. This is where I can kind of change the shape of the paw a little bit.
Daddy,
Yeah, buddy.
why does mine look weird?
Well, I think that yours might look a little weird because I don't know that you were warmed up properly when you started. You know, we kind of just jumped right in. And had you drawn anything else today?
No.
So, you know, that...
Did you?
No, I didn't draw anything else, but, you know, this is what I do. So I'm used to... I practiced... I didn't practice yesterday, but I definitely practiced on Saturday. And I practice almost every day, I would say. So before I get into the face, I just want to blend some of this stuff with a little bit of water. So
Purple or blue?
just draw a little bit on your hand.
Blue.
So again, you don't want to use too much water, and I want to keep my blues and my blacks a little bit separated, because otherwise the black is just going to completely take over my blue.
And what are we blending together?
Well, what we're blending together is there's a lot of white showing here in my blue, so I can just come in here and I can spread my blue like this, and then afterwards I can come in and I can do my black a little bit, and even try to create a little bit of a fur texture there. And then you can use the black to create shadows too. It's pretty nice. Uh-oh, this has to be more like this, because this is her like elbow right here.
I don't have an arm. Like it's not an arm.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure out a way to bring that out a little bit more, buddy.
There we go. That kind of looks like an arm.
Remember, you can come back in with white too. You know, one way to make an area look darker is to darken it, but you can also lighten the areas around it, and that contrast will make it appear darker.
Optical illusion.
Well, it's just contrast. It's the way contrast works.
I'm gonna add dark blue.
Okay. Yeah, you can always add other colors, even if they're not there. The whole point is to be creative and to...
Actually, this could be my shadow.
There is definitely a shadow on the front side of our cats, like underneath here.
What about the back side?
Yeah, you can see underneath his paw here. Sorry, I just bumped our camera. Definitely, we got to start to think about what our background is gonna look like.
Mine is gonna be them laying in grass.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
When are we gonna get to work on Alice's face?
After I finish sort of doing all the other fur and stuff, we'll get into her face.
And then when are we when are we gonna start on the background?
We will start on the background after we do Alice's face.
Oh, okay. It's a good system.
Yeah. You know, there's a little bit of method to my madness. You really can create some nice shadows with the black, so that, you know, like I'm doing it right around where they overlap or where other limbs overlap, and it really sharpens it up. You see how I just did that?
No.
So I'm just grabbing a little black from here on my brush, and you see how I'm doing this?
I did her back.
You didn't even watch what I was showing you.
No, I did. We took a little black from here and put it where they met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost there. Doing the tail. Let's get in there and get that blue. And then how that meets the yellow. Again, I'm sort of skipping out on the black first. And then I'll go back and I'll do the black.
Hey, Daddy.
Yeah?
Look, I did another cat. It says, what about me?
Haha. All right. You know, if your colors end up fading out a little bit more than you want, you can always come back in with a little bit more of that color. I do want to bring a little black right along the side of Steve's cheek there to create a real separation. And let's finish up the arms. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on with those arms.
They're all over the place.
Yep. All right.
This complete contrast.
Yes, they are two contrasting cats. You're right. Like, Steve is very light, and in comparison to Alice, she's very dark.
Also, we're doing Alice kind of bluish, so.
Oh yeah, we did do a little bit of blue, but blue is complementary to orange.
Oh yeah, complementary, but it's contrast.
Yeah, same thing. All right. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this guy. There's the elbow right there. Okay, I'm going to get into the face now. So, let's take a little bit of yellow onto the nose, like this. The nose itself is a little bit dark, So you can see it's just like a little wedge here. Try to scrape it just a little bit away. Good. All right. Again, we're going to kind of find the curvature of the eye right there. And then you can see this just kind of comes to a point. And then it's going to come back like this. And then her eye's right there. This one you don't see, but it does look a little dark over there. Dark mark under the eye. Stripe over here. Boy, they're really banging over there, huh?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Stripes. And then dark back here. Dark near the ear. Like we can do all around the ear dark. Very dark back here, but a little bit of light behind the ear there. And then this ear is dark.
The ear was supposed to be dark?
The top ear is dark, the back of it is. This one is light compared to the rest of it. Okay. Let's add a little bit more of this blue in certain areas that need it. And now I'm going to come in with my paintbrush. I'm going to do kind of my yellow and black first. This is very much catching the likeness of Alice for me.
What?
I'm going to add a little bit of pink in the ear here.
What's the likeness?
It looks like her.
Mine doesn't.
Well, like I said, you went a little small. Now I can go back into my blacks a little bit. Now, she definitely has some little dots of black where her whiskers come out here. But you need to make them small. Nah, it didn't work too well. That's not so bad. Even Steve has some over here on his white snout, but they're fainter, so I think I would do them with like this rust color. You could try to get some whiskers in there with white if you want. Let's see if we can do it. It's got these little eyebrows. Okay. Now, background.
My nose looks like a rhino.
I'm gonna do a light blue background. I think that'll look nice since I've already been using a little bit of light blue.
Won't blend in.
And wherever I want to put a shadow, like I can see there's one on right at the front of his leg, I can go in with either a darker blue, or if I want to use, black, I could do it. But just a little tiny bit. Maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll go a little bit of black here. And then as it covers up his foot, as it goes under her tummy, and then right up next to his tummy, I'll do a little bit, and right up next to her tummy, I'll do a little bit like that. And then I'll just come back in with my wet brush. Let's take off a little bit of that water. Just a little bit does the trick.
I think I'm done and bored.
Okay, you don't have to continue. Show what yours looks like. Here's Zora's. It's actually looking pretty good, I have to say. You just need a little bit more work on it. Maybe when it's dry, you'll feel like going back in again.
I'm gonna go in the UK.
Okay. Yeah. It's not always, fun and games when you're making art. Sometimes it takes I'm going to switch to purple, I think. Sometimes it takes just a little bit more concentration than kids are willing to give it sometimes. Not all kids, and certainly Zora has really puts time and energy into things when she's engaged, but I know how it gets when you're, she just spent an hour with her class online, and I'm sure spending more time online and concentrating and sitting still is not what she wants to be doing. We did go for a walk this morning. All right, so this is where the big shadow will be, is right there, right there, right there. And I'm just blending a little bit with some water on a brush. Really helps to create some separation. And we're right at about an hour, so we're almost done with this one anyway. I'm just going to try to finish it up, make it a little more complete. Yeah, you don't really see Steve's tail in this particular picture here. Hi, Jules. Glad you made it. You can always check it out later. Glad you guys had a little fun last night. So important to try to enjoy yourself a little bit when there's so much to, let yourself get bummed out about. So makes me happy when I know that friends are enjoying life and making the best of a situation. That's all you can do. Okay. I know I'm going to have a big shadow that comes in here. And it's going to go all the way around, bigger over here. And then sort of just getting smaller and becoming a bit of an outline as we go around here. I like leaving a little bit of light there too, so you don't lose that edge. A little bit of shadow over here. I'm even just going to use a little bigger brush through the background here. I think you can really create some interesting stuff using the water with the oil pastels. I like the way it looks. And the other thing you can do is you can use just watercolors with these too. You can just get your set of watercolors and bust in on your picture with them. Oh, we need a shadow on this side maybe. Whenever I have a lot of water on my page like this, I'll take it and I'll move it to other places. Yeah, it is about the same amount of water as with watercolors. I mean, you want to be able to move it around. Think of the water as the vehicle for your medium, for your your oil pastels, or think of it as the vehicle for whatever pigment you're using. All right, we're almost there. I'm going to do a little shadow here. And then I want to do just a little bit of purple down in here, and then I'm going to call it done. All right. Well, I got to say I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. I had a good time. I hope you guys did too. Zora had a little bit of a less successful try, but I still think it's good, and I think it's really great practice for her. And hopefully she will let me take a picture of this and post it for everybody to see. This one was tricky, guys. Lots of limbs, lots of overlapping stuff, but I feel like we did pretty good. We got a pretty good likeness there. Let's just flip things around here, and I can say, have a wonderful day. Thanks for sharing a little bit of the morning with me, and have a great week. I'll be back on Thursday at 10. We'll just do a regular drawing. And have a great day. Bye.